First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Woo!
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. I am Jenna Wolf alongside the guys.
I barely
Nick
made
Wright,
it this
Brandon
morning.
Marshall, Kevin Wild. Guys, we got a lot going on today. We got a very busy morning, and even though we are knee-deep in the NFL season, we got to start with a big report from the NBA. A lot of rumors swirling around. A couple of bombshell reports dropping yesterday. I'm going to say it. You probably never heard it. Good. Houston, we have a problem. That is where we start today. Possible big names making big moves.
Had a problem.
You've heard it. One's got Russell Westbrook wanting out of Houston after just one season as James Harden's running mate. We're also hearing reports that James Harden remains locked in for the Rockets season. One wants out, one wants in. You know who they are. You're even Steven. Nick, let me start with you. What do you make of what's going on in Houston right now?
Yeah, it ain't great. And I think we now have a large enough sample size to say James Harden, as great as he is, one of the 3 greatest players in NBA history without a ring, one of the 4 most gifted natural scorers in the history of the NBA, does not play well with others, especially if the others are other guys that are eventually going to be in the Hall of Fame. Dwight Howard played with him for 3 years and grew to hate it. Now, some of that was on Dwight. Chris Paul played with him for 2 years and didn't seem to enjoy it all that much. And now Russell Westbrook, who's one of his closest friends in the world, has played with him for 1 year and is like, yeah, love you, James, but this might not be what's for me. And so I don't think James Harden is going to change. I think he's had too much individual success to think he needs to change. He's had back-to-back seasons that are 2 of the highest scoring seasons, 2 of the 10 highest scoring seasons of the last 50 years of the NBA. So I think he believes what I do works. I'm the best player on every team I'm on. In fact, I think he believes I'm the best player in the entire NBA. Why would I change? And so, yeah, I don't blame Russ for saying this isn't that much fun to be, the Diana Ross and the Supremes, to be one of the Supremes. It's like, hey, I could be Diana Ross too. I was, in fact, once upon a time. I'm really hoping right now Diana Ross actually was with the Supremes. My musical knowledge is not that great, but I think that's right. So, Brandon, I think that Russell Westbrook is having the same realization that maybe any particularly perimeter-based superstar would have, which is this ain't that much fun.
Yeah, so Nick, it sounds like it's time for Houston to move on. Let's look at James Harden, and that's on both of them. Russell Westbrook and also James Harden. Let's look at James Harden, Pac-10 Player of the Year, All-American, 6th Man of the Year, 3-time scoring champ. You just talked about that. 8-time NBA All-Star, MVP. What more can he do as an individual? So if I'm Houston and if Russell's out and I just got Harden, I don't think you have a chance to win a championship. So for me, it's time for them to move on. Russell, I mean, there's not much more he can do. He cannot stay in Houston and be the only superstar and get the job done. I love Philly. There's other teams out there that could use his services. So while I don't think Russell Westbrook or James Harden will be there at the start of the season.
Ooh.
Oh, both of them. Wow.
I love it, Brandon. Yeah, well, Nick, there were some funny reports because yesterday Kendrick Perkins said that James Harden hadn't talked to anybody in the organization for 2 weeks. He got that from a source that he won't name. Not, he's not necessarily the Woj of the world, but he got it from a source that he won't name. That James Harden is not picking up anybody's phone call. Then today, Shams is like, nah, James Harden's locked in. It's like, all right, well, something's a little fishy.
Yeah.
And Shams' article has a delightful bombshells. It's like Real Housewives in this article. PJ Tucker wants a new contract and some new sneakers. What's the newest release? Oh, those Off-White 5s are coming. Eric Gordon's like, he's going to be sixth man of the year. And he's like, hey, what's up? Why am I just out here shooting threes? Is this what you want me to do? And then, of course, Austin Rivers with my favorite little nugget from the entire thing. Here we go. I'll read it verbatim, Nick. In another instance, Rivers was barked at by Harden after the former MVP missed a free throw and blamed Rivers, who was standing up by the bench for distracting him. So, like, all right, it's open season on the Rockets now, and I feel bad for Paul Silas, who just got in there. Nick is not even getting a chance to sort of like right the ship. It's just disaster right away.
Well, a couple things. One is, I don't think the Rockets are going to move Harden. And the reason for that is multi-layered. The first one is they don't have their first-round picks in 2024, 2025, or 2026. That's the kind of detritus left over from the CP3 Russ trade. So if you were going to trade Harden, you need to be sure you are going to be back to at least a playoff-level team quickly, or else that, those picks that you would be generating are going elsewhere anyway. That's first of all. Second of all, I used to live in Houston. James Harden is beloved there, and he loves it there. The nightlife scene there might not be a better nightlife for James Harden's, call them very particular tastes, than the city of Houston. When J.J. Watt got all the credit for what he did after the hurricane that hit and raising money, James Harden himself made a more than 7-figure donation out of his own bank account to help out the people there. And Harden is a polarizing player who the Houston fans have embraced and defended like their own child. So I don't think Harden wants to leave. I believe he wants to stay. The problem, Jenna, is going to be, can you find enough pieces or another piece around him that wants to play with him in order for them to contend for something other than the second round of the playoffs?
But why would he want to stay there? It makes no sense to me as a player. It comes a point where it's about winning championships. And you can see it in his play last year. He actually tried to do the things that we all was talking about as far as playing better defense. Don't dominate the basketball. Yep. He did the opposite. He was trying to be a team player so he could win a championship. So if Russell Westbrook is out, Russell didn't play great last in the bubble. I don't know if it's because of COVID-19, and we don't know how that hits players and their cardiovascular system and how they respond to it, but he didn't play well. But he has the opportunity to still contribute at a high level. If he's gone, then who do you have? So if I'm James Harden, I'm looking around in Houston, and I'm saying, I love this city, but I don't have the help I need. So where can I go win a championship? And for that reason, if I'm James Harden, I'm asking to be moved respectfully.
Okay. So I'm going to do two things. I'm going to move Harden, then I'm going to move Russ real quick. First, Harden for Ben Simmons and reunite Morey and Harden just seems to make sense. We all know Ben Simmons needs to run his own team, and we all know that Philly's like a piece away. So I love that Morey move Simmons for Harden. Russ, here's a good one. Russ also needs his own team. I would like Russ to come on home to the Big Apple. Here, and if he does it, he would have 3 goals. I know he's not going to win a championship, Jenna, but just 3 nice and easy goals. Number 1, make the playoffs. There's been no playoff appearances for the Knicks since 2013. Number 2, a personal goal. Make the All-Star team. The New York Knicks haven't had an All-Star in the last 2 years, but even in this stretch of futility, they always had All-Stars. Melo, Porzingis, Tyson Chandler, Amari, even David Lee got an All-Star appearance. So there has been a superstar component missing in New York. And number 3, this is the grudge goal. Stop Durant's New York takeover. This is the first time that the Nets could really grab mind share of New York. And I know it's like, Wild, you're full of it. I'm not. This is the New York Knicks have played 53 games on Christmas. Last 2 years, boom, you're out of there. We're taking you out because they just don't have anybody who want to watch. That hurts the organization. That hurts the league. The idea that the Knicks
he
are
doesn't have a
falling, not just in the standings, no, not just in the standings, but in the minds of basketball, it's bad for the league if New York is bad. Russ could go there, not win a ring, but just get us up to contention and be relevant is a worthwhile goal, Nick.
For loyal First Things First viewers, that is the 7th consecutive player involved in trade rumors that Wilds has assigned to the New York Knicks. Do take that for what you will. We don't have time to go through them all right now, but here is a later in the show tease.
Trust us.
There are 4 teams that can make the money work and that can give, to Brandon's point, can give the Rockets a return that would keep them in contention, and I think might be interested in Russell Westbrook. I spent all morning on the fake trade machine. I've got those ready. Jenna Wolf, later in the show, we will debut those 4 teams. One spoiler alert, the New York Knicks ain't one of them. But there's 4 teams, we'll get to them.
He's got an NFL committee. He's got an NBA committee. Our guy Nick's hard at work.
Oh,
we
no,
got to get
this
back
one's
to
all
the
me.
NFL now.
This one's by myself.
Seahawks and Rams squaring off this weekend. And before you pick a winner there, guess who's favored? And guess by how much? You might not believe it. It's next. It's First Things First.